going on, Justice League? It is Thursday, December 21st, just almost 1 o'clock exactly. Getting close, like 4 minutes to 1. So sorry for no announcement about when I would be coming on live. Honestly, you guys know how it is. A lot of times I just don't know. I just have to do it when I can. So that was the situation today. So, hello to any lurkers out there, or if anybody is here and can hear me, if you could let me know. It does say that I've been recording for almost 40 seconds, so I think it's on. Oh, hey, Bex, you're first again. You win. Um, you know what, Bex? Seriously, can I send you the prize instead of doing like the first person to comment after I'm done? Let's just do it. Like, I love to be spontaneous. Is that cool? Will you email me your address and I can send you these adorable little like they're glass beads, but they look like the Christmas lights. That would be awesome because you're always first, Bex. You totally deserve it. And if you don't want to wear them, then re-gift them. But if you want to email me your address, a physical address to send them to, it can be a P.O. box or a general delivery or anything at all. Justice, ATOOZ at gmail.com. And I will pop those little suckers in the mail right away because I just love you that much. Thank you. Hey, Nico, good afternoon. Nico's a lurker. Oh no. I've got a mod that's a lurker. No, I didn't know that lurker is like a bad thing. I thought lurker just meant you weren't in the chat, but I think it might, that some people might kind of have a angle on it that it's like your haters that are lurking so that they can spy on you. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure I don't have any haters, right? Just a lot of love, a whole lot of love. Can you not see me? I can see you, Nico, but maybe you commented before Bex and I didn't see that. It's not on there. I don't know. Bex, yes. Aw, thanks. Well, Merry Christmas. Yeah. Oh, so sweet. Love you back. Love you more, as Shanann Watts would say. This is the cool thing about the true crime community is keeping these victims alive in the public eye to some extent. I think it's important, and especially somebody like Shanann Watts and her children. She was such a show person, like in a good way, with her MLM stuff and her Facebook stuff. I know people can criticize her for that. We can criticize anybody for anything, but man, do not speak ill of the deceased, please, right? Seriously. It's just impolite and wrong. Anyway, so yeah, she would say, love you more, right? That was kind of one of her catchphrases. So thanks for the love, Bex. And Sharon Kenny says, good afternoon. All right, you guys, let's jump in. Let's just get rolling. Do you see my t-shirt? Do you see my t-shirt? The back is really cool. In fact, it was so cool. I was trying to figure out if I could put it on backwards so you guys could stare at that the whole time. Can you see the whole thing in the frame? I can't look. The eyes in the back of my head aren't working. Let me make sure you can see the whole thing. So $25 is what I paid for this from Tracy at Brush Junkie. And most of the money is going to a good cause. I trust her with that completely, entirely. So yeah, it was a little bit to pay, but I figured it was well worth it. And then whatever the shipping fee was, I think it was like $5. That's the same shipping fee no matter how many you order. So if you order a bunch for yourself and your friends and family, which I was going to do, but I thought I'd get one, see how I liked it, see if my family liked it, and then I could get them some too. I think it's cool. I think people need to know what this was and is, the Maui Massacre. I think it's nothing but a freaking land grab, money grab, water rights grab, and a massacre. Absolutely. So I hope you get your computer back. You're doing great with the phone, though. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. So, yeah, I don't know. There's a whole backstory there. I'm just using the phone for the moment. Honestly, I don't know how much YouTube I'm going to be able to do through the holidays. So, just to give you guys a warning, I don't want to commit one way or the other because I know I'm going to be busy with family stuff. And of course, that's a priority, but you guys are a priority, and I'm a priority. And as much as I love you guys and want to hang out with you, I seriously get depressed when I don't do a live for 3 days. So, like, a 3 day weekend hurts. A 2 day weekend is tough, but I can manage, and I just try to look at it like, it's good to have time off. It's good to miss it because I do. I miss it like on day one. I'm totally addicted. So anyway, I don't want to commit to making some videos or making no videos or making as many videos as I can. I just don't know. I'm going to leave it wide open. But I do think I can commit to trying to be on as many panels as I am invited onto and that welcome me. Because a lot of times I limit my panels for a couple of reasons. Exposure to viruses, exposure to any kind of hacking, and also just because I'm so committed to the Squirrel Squad, so I just kind of stick with that for panels. I used to do a lot of panels with Kelly on What's the Obsession. I would be more than happy to do that again. She and I are still on good terms. We basically have very differing perceptions of the Idaho 4 case. So I don't think that's one for us to talk about, but the Watts case is certainly one for us to discuss. And Kylie Rodney, and I don't think I even know what her perception is of the Maui massacre. But I love Kelly. And for those of you that don't know, Kelly with What's the Obsession, she put up a community post a couple days ago. I don't want to cry. Her father just died, so she's having a rough time. Brings up a lot of feelings for me with my mommy. But see, I have a sibling, so then there's somebody to really connect with during that grief. And she's an only child, but she does have a child, so there's that. Also, I'm not going to keep talking about her because it's her story, but like I said, she did put up a community post about it. It's long, it's from a couple of days ago. And it was very sudden and unexpected. So that's just even harder, like at least with my mommy, I got to say goodbye for too long. Like it was like 10 years. I mean, really, it goes back to like 1986 was when she had her first brush with death, with cancer, and everything went wrong, and she pulled out of that. So, I kind of feel like I've had bonus time ever since then. So, that's a long time. 86, like that's almost 40 years. And then, wow, because yeah, she was like 40, I think, when she got diagnosed with cancer. And yep. Anyway, she would be something like 80. 80? Let's see. Yeah, she would be turning 81 this January if she were still alive, but she passed away a year and a half ago. Anyway, yes, I hope I can get a computer going. So I have one that I just need to learn. So that's something I can do right away too, because I wasn't going to try using that one. I was going to let somebody else in the family use that one, but I will wrap my mind around it and start learning and maybe do my next video on the laptop. Who knows? That would be fun, wouldn't it? Although I am so happy to have the little mic, and I remembered to put it in there. So dang, I think I have my lighting today. I think I have it all. Love will save the day. Kitty Cat's Kiss. And for those that don't know, those are 3D printed kitty cats. My 15-year-old, he's like a mad scientist, 16-year-old. He did get his driver's license yesterday. He got all obsessed with 3D printing, and the kitty cats are to put side by side and to use like as a cell phone stand. But I just think they're so cute, aren't they? Like little silhouettes. So my new sign, please make sure you're still subscribed. Share the video if you like. And turn on your bell to notify you when a video is being dropped or when I'm doing a surprise live. Hit that like button. So I asked you guys yesterday how you liked my sign, and I think everybody said that it was great, except one person had some constructive criticism about it. I totally agree with them. I love getting the constructive criticism, even though, like, you know, your first instinct is to like be defensive. And yeah, she thought it was ugly with the stencil letters, and I kind of agree, but I was kind of trying to do like the 70s like balloon letters. So I did like two tones. You can't really see the two tones except for the green. Like this is cobalt blue with purple outlining, and then this one is hot pink outlining with the orange, or maybe the reverse. Orange with the hot pink outlining. No, I said that wrong. Orange outlining with the hot pink inside. It's hard to tell, isn't it? I mean, it's really hard to tell because it's kind of neon. It kind of makes your eyes bug out. Anyway, enough about my signage. Everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of opening up a discussion, hoping to further my understanding of humanity and these cases and these tragic events that really affect us all. All my videos to date have been made for YouTube. It's an entertainment platform. I am just always in awe of this whole process. It's extremely satisfying for me. It's also, you know, a little nerve-wracking. I'm always a little nervous. I'm always like, oh, how's it gonna go? And honestly, usually I feel like my videos aren't going that well, and then I review them. I try to review every single one of them. And then when I review it, I'm like, oh, no, that's a good video. What was I thinking? You know, it's just from the insider, like, you know, the content creator's mind. Of course, you're always going to be self-conscious and hypercritical of yourself. And I thought it would be really hard to watch my own videos. It was actually Paula Plunder who inspired me to do that because she told me that she does that. And I was like, egads, I can't imagine watching my own videos. Like at the time, I don't think I ever did. And I just thought, man, she is so smart to do that. So I started doing it too. She's one of my mentors. And yeah, I think it's really beneficial. I think it's wise for anybody who is watching, who's a content creator, to watch your own videos and try to learn from yourself, basically. Shanann turned out to be right. She loved more than she was loved. Oh, that is so freaking sad. So that case has come back up, you guys, in case you don't know, but you probably do, because Sherilyn Cadle, I think is how you say her name, the woman who interviewed Chris Watts in person a bunch of times and then wrote a book. Letters from Christopher, I think, was the first one, because they did write letters too. And then she recently put out a second book. And I think Paula Plunder was the first channel that I watched that reviewed it. She's always like, you know, leading the pack, basically. And then Kelly, of course, you know, maybe Paula started her channel with Watts. I'm not sure. Obviously, Kelly with Watts the Obsession did. Let's see. Where'd we go? Totally addicted to justice. I am, and I'm addicted to YouTube. I admit it, but I feel like YouTube is my creative outlet and hopefully a path towards justice. I feel like it is for me, in my opinion. Okay, Merry Christmas, Mark. I'm so glad you said that, because yeah, that's what it's all about. We are less than a week before Christmas, and it is a rough time for a lot of people. A lot of churches these days have services that they call a Blue Christmas to address those people that are having a rough time with it, either, you know, for the first time, or if it's every time, it doesn't really matter. But I love the idea of doing the Blue Christmas services, and I've actually gone to a few of them. So yeah, you know, I don't like to bring politics and religion into my channel, so I always try not to. I do like to recognize Christmas for what it is, which is the celebration of God's love, right? I mean, to put it in its simplest form. I mean, the whole story with Bethlehem and the angels and um, the three wise men. It's all pretty cool, I think. Um, and yeah, it's so mysterious, like how that story got passed down orally and then in the written form, and then I do think that there's a lot lost in translation, and so it can get kind of wild when people get very literal with the Bible because it was an oral story, and then, that Jesus Christ Superstar, that's a cool movie. The original one is super cool, and the new one is also cool. But was it John? Oh, I can't think of his last name right now. He's actually from Ohio, the guy who played Jesus in the new Jesus Christ Superstar. You guys know who it is. He's married to Christy Turlington. John Legend, right? John Legend. He's a tiny little person and just very delicate. And he was like the perfect actor, I think, to play Jesus in the remake. I didn't really like the idea of a remake of a movie like that because, the first one was just so freaking powerful. But those great movies, in my opinion, a great movie, are always going to get remade. So, and then I like it when the actors and the director and the producer take a lot of liberty to try to make it new, not to retell it the same way, but to do it a totally different direction. So basically, what I got out of the John Legend one was that it was sort of like a play being filmed, or it was a play being filmed, or it looked like a play being filmed. You could say that about the original, but man, the original one, like they went to Egypt and they filmed that in the freaking desert. I've listened to the man who played Jesus in the original Jesus Christ Superstar. I've actually met him in person and seen him speak. So can't even think of his name right now. You know how my brain goes dead when I'm on with you guys. Hey, Kenny, let's see. Where are we at? Have you seen the latest CNY? No. Very intriguing. I'll have to check it out. Kenny, please share if you'd like. Mark Molina, if it's correct what she says, it could be very significant. Interesting. Yeah, she's on it. She is often on it. Absolutely. I'll definitely check that out. Hello, Anna Bean. Welcome. Present but can't type. Blessings. Well, squirrels, nice to see you, and I'm glad you can't type. That probably means you're doing your art stuff or getting it set up or whatever. I'm totally excited about that. And I love your thumbnail for your last live. You've been doing these really crafty, creative thumbnails, and they're awesome. Everything you touch is gold, Shan. Don't you guys agree? What did CNY say? Nico asks. John Legend, the singer, LOL, or John Leto? John Legend. Yeah, I said Ledger. Thank you, Mark. Because I was thinking of Heath Ledger because I spoke about him just yesterday, right? Man, that was sad when he passed away. That's another one to look into because that was shady AF with the whole like Olsen sister and everything. That was creepy. That was a huge cover up. I mean, they were completely trying to whitewash the whole thing to keep the Olsen sisters all squeaky clean as if. Give me an effing break. When somebody passes away and people's knee-jerk reaction is to protect themselves, it's gross. It's absolutely gross, in my opinion. In my humble opinion, let's say. Crime Watch says, Nico Mingo, something about a voice recording made secretly at one of the pressers? Weird. Weird. Let's see. Nico says, I was responding to Kenny comment on CNY recent video. Yeah. I watched this AM, Bex says. Oh, and Bex, just a reminder, send me your address, please. I know a lot of winners of the prizes have forgotten to send me their addresses, and I need to keep reminding them. So if you can, go ahead and do it, and then you can tell me that you did it. Because sometimes my emails don't come through. So that's part of the issue, too. I've had people have to send them twice. I watched this AM. I hope it's true and justice prevails soon. We will see. I really think that justice is going to prevail in the Kylie Rodney case. I mean, I really think justice is going to prevail even in Maui, as hopeless as that seems, and same with Idaho 4. But I do want to address all of those cases today. I want to address Kylie Rodney kind of from a different perspective as the one I've been taking. As much as I think that my slamming the 3 people on that panel on that other channel, as much as I feel like that is 100% warranted, I don't like doing it. I do feel like it's kind of rude to do it, but I feel like they need the feedback. Like, that's effed up, man. This is a little kid that got dead, okay? Like, cool your freaking jets and get your priorities in order, please. Please, like, check yourself. And I'm not trying to say that I've done everything right my whole life, because that's certainly not the case. And it's, horrifying, I think, to get blasted on a social media platform. So, I mean, people could easily blast me right back for blasting these people. And I would take a serious look at that. It's important to see your reflection, even when it's something that's difficult. But I do want to bring it down a notch from all the criticizing of that whole thing. But at the same time, I'm not changing my stance on it at all. Not even a little bit. Like, people need to get a grip and look at real life. Like, YouTube is real life. Like, that's the thing that always upsets me about social media, is people think it's just a place to have a dumpster fire free-for-all. And no, it doesn't have to be in the gutter. YouTube is whatever we make it. And it's an awesome opportunity of a platform to reach a lot of people. And, we all have reached each other through this channel, through Kylie, through other channels and other cases. It's extremely magical and powerful. And it's something to be careful with. And, I just think it gets misused. It turns into money, it turns into ego, it turns into all these other things that are not healthy, in my humble opinion. That's just me. Let's see. What else? Presser 4. Yeah, which presser? Good question, Nico. Anna Bean says, yes, I do. Apparently, a recording was made of someone saying if she only didn't take the book and kept silent. That kind of sounds like a plant of a quote to me. Because I think I know what that's referring to, that the allegation is that Kylie was going to go public with some abuse that she had been the victim of systematically with the lodge and with guests at the lodge, and that she wrote down names and dates, and that she was going to go public with that, and that was isn't that what it is referring to, Crime Watch? I mean, I could be inaccurate, but I'm pretty sure that that's what that is. Very odd, and now just need to know what it's all about, if anything. So my guess is that because we get so much of this on YouTube, people that make these videos and put them out there on the streets of YouTube, like for fun, for shits and giggles, and it's just like, people, that's ridiculous. Like, and it's a distraction, it's kind of like the Josco 1972, kind of like the One Eye Looking, I See You Too, all of these weird things. Yeah, I'm thinking that it might be bogus. Not saying that CNY is bogus, just like with the person in their deathbed confession. More saying that the people behind the information might be bogus and that she's just the messenger. So don't shoot the messenger. I'm not criticizing her at all. Let's see. Very odd. And now just need to know what it's all about. If anything, yeah. Read that twice, but thanks, Kenny and Sherry Irvin. Hey, Jazz, great t-shirt. Did you get to see the back? I'll turn around again. Don't worry, in case you didn't see the back. Nico Mingo, one of the press conferences held by the police, apparently. So yeah, not a Sammy press conference. Bex, I will. Thanks, Jazz. Well, thank you. Thank you for always being there. Like, that's just amazing. So, yeah, you deserve a little prize for all of your attention and thanks. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Great t-shirt. Great t-shirt. I already read that one. Let's see. If true, then likely a dealer ledger, in my opinion. Squirrels. I'm so glad you said that because I hadn't thought of that. Interesting. So I came up with a theory yesterday on the live that I shared, and I hope it didn't offend anybody. I feel like it's important to explore different concepts, but going on the same concept of the theory that I shared yesterday when I was reviewing the video, I thought, what if one or more of the guests from the Alpine Club the weekend before was still present at the lodge? And then put that into the whole mix of the theory that I threw out there yesterday. And I said it was a new theory. I want to clarify, in some ways it's a new theory. It's got new ideas and old ideas mixed together. But anyway, I also want to try to keep up with you guys. So referring to that from yesterday, I'd say just go back and watch that one if you haven't, and just put it on speed and a half if you need to. Nothing works right when I'm on phone. Yeah, that's what is really annoying, is when somebody calls me during my live, like it happened yesterday, and then you guys can't hear what I'm saying. If there is any, while it's ringing, you can't hear what I'm saying, so then I can hit the red button. If there is any truth in the latest malarkey, then I wonder if Kylie had a book containing names, etc. Maybe Ellie people too. Very plausible considering the huge cover-up. Crime Watch, you are on it. That is right on the money, in my opinion. Yeah, that would make sense. We get depressed when we don't see you for 3 days. Oh, Sherry, you're the bomb. That is so nice. Remember when I used to do my lives twice a day? I would do one like as early in the morning as I could, like around 8. And then I would do one like around lunchtime, like usually like a late lunchtime. Man, that was rough to keep up with, but I was loving it. But yeah, I like look back and I'm like, I don't even know how I did that. Does anyone, and also to have new stuff to talk about, twice a day like that, because they were longer lives too, if I'm remembering right. They were like almost always well over an hour. Almost always. Does anyone talk about Bob Saget's Red Rum? Nico, that's a really good question. And yes, I think some people do. Related to Olsen twins too. Wow. What a freaking amazing parallel you drew there. Nico Mingo. Yeah, his wife, I think her last name is Rizzo, his widow, Rizzo. That's like so gangsta, in my opinion. She was a lot younger than him. She got everything. I don't know. It was extremely sus. And very sad and weird, because he had such a squeaky clean image. Nobody knew that he was like into substances and stuff. But I've said that before in my videos, having grown up in Southern California near surrounded by the entertainment industry is that kind of everybody in the entertainment industry abuses substances. It just doesn't get talked about. And then when somebody passes away, it even gets covered up when it's like an overdose, like River Phoenix, because they say they're trying to, respect the family and respect the deceased. But in my opinion, it's more about CYA and protecting the sources, protecting um, the whole illicit business, basically. Um, so, Shan, very possible. Let me catch up. I know I'm a little bit behind. Those bozos had it coming, Jazz. Nico. I like that you call them bozos with a capital B. I feel like they totally had it coming. And I'm like, I don't want to be the one to say it, but somebody's got to do it. So I'm right here. I'm just going to take it upon myself. So sorry, not sorry. Not sorry at all. Just, I do like to be more polite and cordial. But sometimes sometimes being a bitch is all a girl's got to hold on to. One of my favorite movie quotes from Dolores Claiborne. Sometimes being a bitch is all a girl's got to hang on to. And you guys know my other favorite quote that's from like a refrigerator magnet or socks that says, you say I'm being a bitch as if that's a bad thing. So yeah, you just gotta, you just gotta, right? I'm still thinking Lindsay and Tony leverage for college resources or to spite Lindsay. Yeah. I mean, if Kylie was going to the community college, that wasn't going to cost very much money. But in any college situation, it's the room and board that's going to run pretty high. And if she was wanting to live not at the lodge, and it sounded like she was moving out of the lodge, or maybe her grandfather was trying to get um, Lindsay and Tony out of the lodge so he could put it in her name or have her there. I mean, it sounds like there was something like that going on. We know that she had filed for emancipation and that the ink had almost dried on that. So, yeah, I think there was a lot going on with money and the lodge and the inheritance. I mean, Grandpa is loaded with, all the water rights and everything. That's gold. Let's see. Crime Watch says it would be interesting to know if law enforcement had frequented the lodge. Well, I'm pretty sure Sam Brown did. I think that there's like footage and records of him from 10 or 20 years ago, right? Shan, you would know. Or illegal pot farmers dealing more than just weed. So, such a good point to bring up the weed too, even just sticking with the weed, because it being legalized in California, that hit the old timers that were doing it illegally. That hit them hard, and that was a huge industry. So there's a lot to be said about that. And then the other substances, of course. Is Ellie in the book, Mark? You asked the best questions. It's nice to see you again. Apparently, the recoding has been handed to the relevant law enforcement. Well, the recording. It says recoding. The recording has been handed to relevant law enforcement. Well, of course, I would hope so. I mean, if it's even if it's fake, that it should be given to law enforcement to suss that out. We'll see, huh? But it's hard to trust these law enforcement officials too, right? Squirrels on fire, that would make more sense as to why Trinity met the fate she did. Crime Watch, good point. Trinity Backus, the redhead from, what's it called? Not Grass City. Anyway, something like that over there in Placer County. Like 30 or 40 miles west of Truckee. And Trinity Backus's boyfriend's mother was good friends with Lindsay, and we don't know if so that's Summer Fowler is the mom. Francis Fowler is the boyfriend. We don't know if him and or Trinity were at Kylie's celebration of life, but we do know that Summer Fowler was there. And we also know that Summer Fowler's son, Francis Fowler, that his girlfriend a year before Trinity Backus passed away on, I think it was November 7th last year, the year before that, his other redhead girlfriend, like doppelganger Paisley Woodard, also passed away. I think it was like Halloween, right? So what are the freaking chances? I mean, the boy was like 17 last year, and he had two redhead girlfriends that passed away almost a year apart on the anniversary. Something seems fishy, in my opinion. In my humble conspiracy theory opinion, Rich Lux invented that saying. Let's see. Let's see. Kathleen, hello. Thank you for giving me someone to listen to in the morning. Aw, you mean like last year? Because, yeah, nobody was on in the morning, and that was just because that's how it fit into my life. I know things I cannot disclose, but it still holds my same suspects. Oh, squirrels, I know you've got lots of good information. That is normal. Sorry this text get all messed up, but thanks for being good and delightful. Oh, you're so sweet. And you know I have fun reading the comments that are messed up with typos or what have you, because I feel like such a freaking genius when I can decipher them, when I can decode them. It's not always. But I'm like, wow, look at me go. Mom first, always. Hello, Justice in chat. And Rapper, I don't recognize your handle. Nice to meet you. Some lady named Megan Cole is bashing true crime channels right now. She's a sick lady. She's actually live. Megan Cole. Yeah, we know her. We call her MC Ultra, and we try not to talk about her because she's very deranged. And I think I'm not the one who came up with this idea, but let me see if I can pull out of my thin air who it was that came up with it, because I think they're right that it might be Billy Darling or somebody from Shan's lives, from her panels, that their assessment is that Megan just used Kylie as a vehicle to get her own channel, and that people had never really listened to her in her life, and all of a sudden people were listening to her, and that basically she's just being an attention whore. I think that there might be more to it, but I think that that's a pretty accurate assessment in my opinion. And yeah, she's just awful. Really, really hard to listen to, like nails on the chalkboard in every way, shape, and form. Squirrels on Fire, can't you share privately via email? I hate not knowing, LOL. Yeah, let us into your secrets. Rapper, you used to be up Megan's arse. When isn't she talking trash? LOL. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. No one here gives one hoot about MC. She is irrelevant of her own doing or undoing, in my opinion. Oh, look, I got your email. It just came up as a notification. Yay. So, Bex, I can send those today or tomorrow. Very cool. Hey, Ara, awesome. And Crime Watch says, Nico, amen to that. Yes. Miss Justice, hello, chat. Oh, Ara, it's lovely to see you. Are you on your Christmas break? And let's see, at work, but we are closing shop. I have some time. Good to see everyone. Make sure to hit that like. Please hit that like button. And don't forget to make sure that you're still subscribed. Share the video if you like it, and turn on your notification bell so that you're notified when I surprise you with a live or drop a video, or I don't know if it sends out notifications when there's community posts. Do you guys know? I did do a really goofy community post last night or this morning of a hilarious thing. I won't talk about it. I'll just let you guys go look at it. I also did a community post a couple days ago of a gorgeous oil painting that my grandmother did and that she willed to me when she passed away a long time ago. But I just hung it on my wall a few weeks ago for the first time ever, and it's awesome. And so happy you could make it, you guys. Let's see. Harsh One says, "Hi, Xena." Yeah, that was my code name when I was on What's the Obsessions panels talking about the awful freaking slaughter of that family, that beautiful family. I saw you were going live and I had to go back and subscribe again 2 times today. What? I guess YouTube is messing with your channel. Well, I knew that they were big time. Yeah, I've known that for well over a year, and it's obvious. So thanks for the information, though. That's always good to get firsthand information like that. Subscribers, so y'all look and make sure you are subbed. Hit that like. Yeah, yeah. You know, again, I'm very flattered that they're so threatened by my content. It gives me validation that I'm onto something. I mean, of course, I think I'm onto something, which is why I'm presenting it, but I could be in left field. I could be completely off. And when I'm getting so heavily trolled by not just your average trolls, but what I call trolls with a purpose, then I'm like, damn, okay. Thank you for the information. Thanks for letting me know. Ara and Squirrels on Fire. Hi, chat. Hope you are all doing well. Let's see. Hello, hello, hello. The plot thickens. Grass Valley. Thank you, Crime Watch. I was trying to think of that name. I was like, green grass. What did I call it? Grass field. Anyway, Grass Valley, thanks. Mark Molina, Merry Christmas, yes. And you know, Festivus for the rest of us. You guys are probably familiar with that from Seinfeld. That's one of the best ones. Festivus for the rest of us. Annie Ruler, hello, Christmas pub crawl. But staying tuned. Oh, how hilarious. How funny. Trinity Bacchus, great note, Shan. Yeah, did I say her last name right? I think I did, but I'm not 100% sure. I think Dante's parents can be tied to things as well. It is possible these kids are being hushed or used as leverage. It's amazing how many connections we don't know of, like in the Idaho 4. I want to get to some of that. And in the Kylie Rodney case, I think there's a lot of information that people think will never get ferreted out, that they think that it's all going to stay hidden. And back before social media, it probably would. But that's one of the really positive attributes of social media, in my opinion, is that there's more transparency, that the truth surfaces more readily. Let's see. I reckon you are spot on there. Crime Watch says to Shan. And small area and so much code of silence and no transparency. I like the way you said cone of silence. But yeah, I'm sure typo or spell check. Code of silence. Yeah. And Mark, Merry Christmas. Grass Valley, Nevada City. Oh, did I say Grass City? Is that what I said? Thanks. Let's see. Mark, I don't understand the Lindsay comment, RE leverage. And I just want to try to stay caught up. I want to try to speed read. And got to drink my water as I keep talking. Don't worry, it's almost empty and I have lots of backup right here handy. Hello, JR Nana Boomer. And Lodge stuff. Took book of Lodge things. Lindsay and Tony involved. Yeah. For leverage for funding college. And hey there, back at all the lovely people here for justice. And I think that's like a double meaning, both me justice and justice, right? Double meaning, yes. I'm cleaning my ex-husband and wife-in-law's place as I listen. That's hilarious and so good-natured of you. That's wild. Not a lot of us could do that, huh? Beck says, I sent the email, and yes, I saw it, so I'm a little bit behind still, so I'm going to keep trying to speed read. I think everything should be posted that is valid, posted anonymously. And Squirrel says, community posts are the only thing that doesn't send notifications on any channel. Good to know. I don't get community posts. I go look for them. Painting you posted, and I love the painting you posted. Yeah, I've loved that my whole life. I couldn't believe it when she willed it to me, and then I couldn't believe how long it took to get to me. Every time I watch you live, have to resubscribe. Dang it, Nancy. Wow, that's the handle's name. Dang it, Nancy. That is wild. But see, that explains to me why I have flatlined at slightly over 4,000 subs for probably almost a year now. And I'm not complaining. I'm just happy to be here. But that's what I've figured all along. I mean, typically channels grow over time. And I know that I'm a decent channel. I know that I'm not getting worse and worse at doing this. I know that I'm okay at it, and that I get a lot of good information. I get a lot of my own original content from me brain that I see other people use all over YouTube without giving me a shout out, and I'm tired of it, and I would like to get shout outs to help counteract the shadow banning. Please, people, if you have an idea that you think you got from me, just give me a shout out, especially when you're like a huge freaking channel. That could really help counteract the shadow banning. Do your girl a favor, please. And good information. Thank you for that. I love Grandma's painting. Love it. She was very talented, and I know when I was a little girl, I definitely would have been hypnotized by it, and it would get more attention than cartoons. Yep. Yes, I saw the back. Oh, good, the back of the t-shirt. I'm subbed and notifications on, and I hit the like button. Yay. Truth for Kylie. Gotta go walk the furries. So Merry Christmas. If I don't see you all before, I'm sure I will, though. Hopefully, Crime Watch, Merry Christmas, and have a really good walk with the fur babies. Dante, Trinity, and Kylie are definitely connected. My brain will explode if they are. I thought you were saying that they are, and I'm thinking that they probably are, Ara, so let's prepare so that your brain don't explode too badly. Ara, so what channel was I just listening to today talking about the Watts case, a channel that's brand new to me that I don't think I'm going to come up with it because I don't know it that well, but I'll maybe put a link in the description. I like this channel a lot. And she was saying in Sherilyn Cadle's second book that Sherilyn says that I think it was Chris's mom told her that his sister slammed his head into a car door when he was growing up, and that they wondered if he had some brain damage from that. And that would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? That would make a lot of sense. So that was a hot little tidbit right there. Not giving him any excuse for what he did and what he was involved with, because I'm not sure of what he did, but I am sure of what he was involved with, and I am sure that he's serving a life sentence that needs to be served 100%. What do you think of Bethany Funk speaking to the defense? So I haven't heard that she spoke to the defense. The defense tried to speak to her. So I don't know if I missed something. I know there's been a lot about Bethany Funk lately. And the big thing that I want to say about Bethany Funk is to remember that in the PCA, she was used as a vehicle, in my opinion, by law enforcement in that PCA to pretend to explain the missing 5 hours of Xana and Ethan. So it had been said that they left the frat house at like 9 o'clock and that nobody knew where they were until they got home at 1:45 a.m. But then in that PCA, Bethany said, "Oh, wait, no, I was at the frat party and they were there that whole time." So I don't believe that. And it's just interesting that they didn't really say anything about what she saw or heard in the house that night, just filling in that 5 hour mysterious gap that had been mysterious for 6 weeks solid. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot going on with Miss Funk. And she's definitely being protected, both her and Dylan. You are such a positive inspiration. Thank you. Oh, you're so sweet. Dang it, Nancy. That's so nice. I like watching other content creators that I feel like are real positive, and so I'm glad that it's rubbing off on me. I try to be so careful about the content that I expose myself to because I know that it's going to shape how I talk and, the information that I have. So I'm trying to be very selective and just not taking in information or content that I don't feel 100% solid with. And there's a lot of good content out there. It's just hard to find it sometimes. All right, I think BF knows more about both cases. I swear she made a post about Kylie missing those first few days. Well, so for anybody who's not familiar, Bethany Funk is from Reno. And allegedly, she went to Truckee High School for a year, maybe as a freshman or a sophomore. She graduated from Reno High School, and that would be pretty wild if she did go to high school in Truckee for that 1 year. I don't know that that's true. I've heard it a few different times from a few different sources. So yeah, I've never heard about the post, but yeah. And let me just say this too, that even if she did post about Kylie, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I mean, you and I might have been posting about Kylie too, and we probably didn't know her. So just always to keep an open mind. And yeah, that is wild. Ara says, yeah, it is. I mean, it's just wild that there's the crossover, even, the cross pollination, as I like to call it. I don't know who YouTube channel, I think Michelle Sutton or Zav Girl, but I'm not sure. I was watching anything with Kylie Rodney on it. Wish I'd known then about saving them. Anna says, Ara, is Bethany talking to the defense? Well, remember, they tried to subpoena her and she got it squashed or quashed, however they say it in court, squished. I was shocked. I didn't think that that would go over, but I think that it went over because of her family's connections. Her dad's a dentist in Reno. And yeah, I don't think that that would have flown in most courts, but I think Idaho does everything their own way. They are their own nation, they're their own universe. They don't care about the laws in the other states in our country. They're their own country, is pretty much how they've handled themselves as far as I'm concerned and as far as I know. She is being summoned, Anna Bean. She is again. Good. Wow, that's big. Thanks, Ara. Yeah, yeah. Well, I always figured that she would. I'm surprised that she's been able to remain basically quiet this long. That's pretty crazy. I periodically get notifications for comments on community posts as well as community post notifications. Oh, interesting. Um, I think they just want to poke holes in the story. Oh, that story for Idaho 4 is so full of holes. Am I almost caught up, Ara? It's all, in my opinion, and I forget what app, but it was a reel like post, real as in REEL, with flyer on Kylie abduction or missing, but I can't find it anywhere. I've been searching. Oh, isn't that frustrating? Yeah, when things get taken down, or just you can't find it because you can't find it. Um, Dang it, Nancy says, what's up with all of these channels streaming for 8 to 12 hours with ridiculous accusations and say they want justice for the families? Disgusting. So I'm not real familiar because I can't do an 8 to 12 hour stream. I mean, I've done a few with Shan and other content creators in the past, but I can't do that no more. I'm too old for that. I got too much going on. And yeah, I don't know how anybody does it. And I think that people will say outlandish things on their YouTube channels just to get clicks and likes. And that's horrible. If that's your motivation, that's horrible. I mean, if you're saying outlandish things because you think they're actually true and accurate, then, you know, but yeah, we have to take everybody with a grain of salt, even if they're doing 8 and 12-hour lives. I mean, maybe especially if they're doing 8 and 12-hour lives. Again, I don't like to criticize because that's a lot of work. I know Zav used to do really long lives like that, and T-Rev. I remember J-Rod did a 7-hour one Sunday morning that I was like in the chat, I think almost the entire time. So it wasn't morning the whole 7 hours, I don't think. Maybe. But anyway, it is crazy. Some of these long lives, and you know, one of my favorite channels right now is Tluminati, but her lives are so long, I can't make time for that. So yeah, I'm not sure if you want to say what channels you're referring to. I'm comfortable with that. And I'm curious. I believe the Moscow PCA was written to create and dispel all known questions, and unfortunately, their novice abilities have revealed themselves to only answer those, but not all of the true questions. Yeah, I totally agree with that assessment, Nico. And I am caught up with this one more comment. Two more, three more. Okay. I thought BF posted it because she was from the area, but now I'm like WTAF and BF in Swammy look alike so much. It's speculation. I don't know anything else, just sus AF. Well, who was it that did the photographs of Bethany and Zanime next to each other? Do you guys remember who that was? Who did the photograph side by side, the comparison? I think it was somebody in the Squirrel Squad. Amen's sister, life is too short. I think we need realize if they are one that long, they are doing this for a living, and it's clickbait mainly. Hey, Death Valley Tiger, what a cool name for the handle. You know, I can agree with that to some extent. But I don't think that they necessarily make money. I mean, unless they're doing like the super chats and stuff like that. You know, I think those really long lives don't appeal to a lot of people. I mean, people like lives, don't get me wrong. People like long lives, but when I say long live, I'm talking like 2 to 4 hours. To me, that's a long live. I know a lot of lives go longer, and I know from being on What's the Obsession panels that it would be easily a 5-hour live when you have 4 people trying to have a good conversation about a topic. And it would just go really fast. It's like, how could that be 5 hours? But that's what happens in real life when you're having a conversation, like a group conversation too, when you're really trying to make headway. So yeah, I think that it is important to, the whole thing with the clickbait. There's so many channels that do the clickbait on the thumbnails. And I get it. When I first started my channel, I kind of thought you were supposed to do that. Like I know not total clickbait, but you want to make it pop. You want to make it stand out because there's thousands, if not more, of the videos, probably millions, that people are selecting from. So you want yours to stand out with like a pow, or they say use red arrows to point to things. So when you see people's thumbnails with the red arrows, know that that's just to pull you in because you're like, what is it pointing to? And sometimes it's not really pointing to anything. So that's a typical clickbait. But most thumbnails are clickbait, in my opinion. I try to be really careful not to do that. I try to be really careful about not hyping up my content, and I feel like a lot of my content is pretty cutting edge, but because I don't hype it up, it's not hyped up. So, I'm okay with that. I think I would rather be like that than the opposite. But I'm surprised that stuff like the 15.5 foot long vehicle doing a somersault in 14 feet deep of water, that more people aren't like, what the actual F? Like, that can't be. Like, even if the water was a little bit deeper, no, the car is going to, yeah. Like, sure, it might have been a little bit deeper, but let's just say it was 15.5 feet on the day that it went in, if it went in that day. I'm convinced that it was put there via boat a day or two before it was discovered by AWP. Am I caught up mostly? Let's see. I did side by sides. Oh, thank you, Harsh One. I did the side by side of BF and Zanime in my community post. Thank you so much for speaking up. So yeah, Harsh One did that. I remember looking at them and thinking, wow. But yeah, you know, a lot of these people are doppelgangers. Going back to the photograph from the Kylie Rodney party and the people all lined up at night, and Scammy circulated that photograph in a Tony Dodge interview, and she pointed to the one girl that she said was Kylie, and that one girl was like a doppelganger with another girl a few people over, wearing the same outfit with the same long blonde hair and the same hoodie, same pants, same shoes and socks. I mean, it was as if they were trying to do the doppelganger thing. And I'm not saying that they were, because sometimes people just do that, teenagers, they all follow the same trends and they end up dressing alike. But yeah, I think that there's too many Nates in Kylie Rodney's case. There's too many Jacks in Idaho 4. It's just weird. And it seems to me that that's one of those things that might not be an accident, that might be more on purpose. Because a lot of times people with a name like Nate go by Nathaniel or Nathan or Nat. And a lot of times people with a name like Jack go by John or Johnny or Jackie or probably a couple other names. So why they're all using the same form of the name, it's interesting, in my opinion. Let's see. So let me grab some more water real quick before I go into a. It sounds like I'm peeing, I know, but here, I'll show you the water so you know that I'm not. It was actually one time on one of Watts the Obsession's lives that I was pouring more water, and she was like, "Can you mute your mic, please?" And I was like, "I know it sounds like I'm not." But still, muting the mic is good, just to keep the sound more fluid, right? Dang it, Nancy says, is it just me or have you all seen multiple looking BKs? Maybe they're doing cloning at the university. Um, so when you say BKs, are you talking about the criminal defendant? Are you talking about the Purple Heart military hero that was sniped? Um, I think that there is something to your question. I think that there's been a lot of videos made about like Revenge of the Clones, a movie that I've not seen. Um, I think there's a lot of medical research going on at the university, and I think there's a lot of fertility medical research going on at that university, and that it's interesting that Ethan was a triplet. There's a lot more triplets these days than there used to be because of fertility treatment. And it's very likely that Ethan and his sister and brother were products of fertility treatments. It's probably more likely than not. So, um, I don't know if that has anything to do with anything in the quadruple slaughter, but let me look at my notes. I have some things I want to be sure to touch on. Um, and so there's a couple of siblings that live behind the 1122 King or Queen Road slaughterhouse. Matthew Moyer and Madison Moyer. So I've mentioned this brother and sister several times, but every time I mention them, I can't freaking remember their names. So that's ridiculous. So I made sure I had their names handy. Matthew Moyer, Madison Moyer. They're both friends with a lot of the players in the Idaho 4 case. And Madison Moyer, of course, goes by Maddie, and she's a sorority sister with some of these characters. Um, Matthew Moyer is serving our armed forces for the military. They live in a house right behind that residence, and they are very likely, if not definitely, the source of many of the noise complaints against the residents in the 1122 King or Queen Road residence. So, Matthew Moyer and Madison Moyer, when I've brought them up, I've said pay attention to those siblings because I think we're going to be getting more and more information about them. They seem like they're behind the scenes, that they have a lot of connection to Bethany and Dylan and other people in the whole story, but also possibly Demetrius and Emma Bailey. Why haven't we heard anything about Demetrius and Emma Bailey getting rearrested for supplying Caden Young with the lethal substance that he overdosed from? Because remember, they were arrested, they were in the same jail as the criminal defendant, and then they were sprung on the technicality that they were, jurisdictions were messed up because the substances were bought and sold in Moscow or Pullman and then consumed over there in Western Washington, and Caden Young passed away in Western Washington. And so they're saying that the jurisdiction for the arrest of Demetrius and Emma would be the Western Washington jurisdiction. I don't know that that's right. I mean, if the substances were acquired over there in Moscow, Pullman, I don't know. But what is very suspicious to me is that they haven't been rearrested and that this kid is deceased. I think that all four of these people that I just named could be confidential informants. I think that Dylan could be, and her boyfriend, Quinn, could be. It could be that Maddie's father Madison Morgan. Yeah, Mogan. I'm doing what the cop did when he was like, "Is Morgan here?" Okay, Madison Mogan, Maddie, one of the victims, her father and her stepmother could have been used as confidential informants. Xana's mother could have been used as a confidential informant. When you are arrested and charged with serious felonies, you can get, they have a lot of leverage over you. They have a lot of power over you, and they can basically force you to be a confidential informant, which is extremely dangerous for you and your family. It's extremely, can be extremely unethical. I mean, it's a very dangerous game to play. And that could be what happened. That could very well be why the 4 people were slaughtered. That was a message to everyone that you don't mess with, you just don't mess with, right? um, it's kind of like a message to family members, but a message to everybody. It's like setting an example, basically, right? So if there's a lot of illicit activity going on in Moscow and with the university and with the fraternities and sororities, and everybody there sees that this is what happens when you mess with, then nobody's going to mess with, no matter what. Even if it was their brother or sister, or even if it was their child. Um, that's where there's honor and silence. Like, not really, because you're just giving the evildoers more confirmation of their power and ability to control people with violence. And it's, there's no easy solution, but I don't think that that's a solution at all, to abide by and to, shut the F up because they're telling you to, or they're going to do that. That's where people get into situations with, witness protection programs. So I'm looking at the time, and we are already getting close to an hour and 15 minutes. I feel like I've covered some of the Moscow case. I've covered some of the Kylie Rodney case, but not much of the Maui case. So I'd like to talk a little bit more about Maui before we wrap up. And dang it, Nancy says, oh, so I thought there was a new comment, but I guess not. Okay, no problem. That's okay if you guys don't want to comment to me. I won't be hurt. I won't take it personally. So I do want to point out the necklace that I did not make, because it's like a palm tree with like abalone. And I just think it's cool with the Maui. Don't you think that's cool? And then this one I didn't make either. And none of the jewelry I'm wearing today did I make. Oh no. That's unusual. This one is carnelian. It's a really cool red stone that is pretty hard to come by. So when I see carnelian, I always consider purchasing it because it's really cool. It's like called the bloodstone, and I highly recommend it. There's just like really good energy with carnelian. And then the earrings, they're kind of cool because they're like little yin and yangs. Again, I didn't make them. And they are silver and amethyst. I love amethyst and I love silver. And I'm mixing my metals, which I pretty much do all the time because most of my rings are silver. I always wear a watch and it's gold. And I'm just one of these people that likes to mix metals. Some people do like all silver, all gold. Not me. And then there's like the brass and stuff. Anyway, enough about my jewelry. Let's talk about my home decor. The lights are cool, huh? I always try to get the moon in the shot, and I try to get it to glow. And then today I've got a double moon. Oh no, what does that mean? There must be a meaning to it. So Ms. Moyer, yeah. So Madison Moyer, Maddie Moyer. Look for these people. Look for Matthew Moyer. It seems like they habitually would call noise complaints against their friends, maybe frenemies in that house. And I do think that we will continue to hear more and more about the Moyer siblings. The location of the house and the easy access to the other house. Um, yeah, I think there's something up with that. But talking about Maui, again, I'm going to show the back of the t-shirt, and I'll stand up a little bit so that you can hopefully see the whole thing. Um, ain't that cool? Hopefully you got a good look at it. I can't see the screen to make sure that you did. Oh, not Mogan. Well, I was talking about both of them, Nico. So I was talking about Madison Moyer, and then I was talking about Maddie Mogan. So, and that's when I said the thing about Morgan, because, yeah, too many Maddie M's. So thank you. I think I got it right, except for when I said Morgan, which cracked me up because it reminded me of when what's his name, you know, the Corporal Brett Payne, and he was shining the light in Xana's eyes and just really giving her a hard time and basically harassing her. And I forget who he was with on that call, um, but scaring the piss out of the poor girl. But they wanted to talk to Maddie and they didn't know her name. They were like, "Is Morgan here? We want to talk to Morgan. We talked to Morgan before." And Xana said, I don't have a Morgan. It was hilarious. It was like she was so um, intimidated, scared, and loopy. And just to say, "I don't have a Morgan." And then she figured out a minute later, she's like, "Oh, Madison. Madison." Um, so yeah, Maddie Mogan. And I thought that it was funny that they were calling her um, Morgan, and then I was doing it too. So yeah, it gets confusing. Too many Maddies, and then there's also the confusion with the crossover names from the Kylie Rodney case and the Idaho 4 case. But let's continue on the focus of Maui because it's so bad what's going on. Brush Junkie just did like a 1 minute video that I'll put a link in the description to, that she talks about the specific toxins that are going to be released in the toxic waste that is planned to go into Pele's womb. So there's like arsenic and lead and cobalt, just to name a few. But she talks about the specific substances, the specific toxins, and what they do. And we all know that arsenic is poison and lead is poison. Cobalt's one that, I always think of the beautiful color, so I didn't know that it's a heavy metal and that it's toxic too. But of course, in a fire like that, of course, you're going to have all kinds of toxins, but especially, who knows if this was the direct energy weapons, who knows what new toxins get introduced through that process. I have no idea. It's really concerning, just like I've said the last couple of times I've brought it up. It's really concerning to me that the mayor, the governor, and the police chief are all still untouchable. Um, just because these other people walked out on the jobs, the director of housing and the director of public safety, that's not enough. I mean, what an epic failure. So let's just pretend for a minute that it was a wildfire, that it was not direct energy weapons, that it was not intentional, that it was just like a whole lot of stupidity and buffoonery and ineptitude and incompetence and all that. Let's pretend that it was all not done from evil, but just from sheer stupidity, okay? Still, they need to be held accountable. It's their job to know. They knew or should have known what was going on. They knew or should have known that there was problems with the water. They knew or should have known that there was no diesel fuel in the generators to pump the emergency water wells. They knew or should have known, they knew that the power lines that were down were deactivated, that they were de-energized, and they should have been getting the traffic out of there. They should have had all lanes going out, and instead they had no lanes going out. Effing unbelievable. So if it was just sheer stupidity and they missed the 15 memos of the power lines being de-energized, they're still incompetent and they still need to be investigated for their epic failures. And it's criminal. It's absolute criminal negligence on a professional level, at the very least. Why these people are still in their positions of power is disgusting. It's sickening. It's gut-wrenching, and that needs to change. That's where you start, is just with an administrative leave and an investigation. That's where you start. But instead, if they're still there, then they're going to be controlling all of these investigations that they're saying are going to take 18 months to determine what caused the fire. Or what are they saying now? It's going to be 3 years before they have clean running water. It's going to be 3 years before they can have septic and sewage. Like, basically, they are making it impossible for people to stay there no matter what. It's crazy. And then you got Zuckerberg, you've got Harpo, you've got the land grabs. WTF. It's unreal. It's absolutely unreal. And if it can happen there, it can happen anywhere. And like I say, with the toxic waste, if that is deposited into the cone that they're talking about depositing it into, this porous cone that they call Pele's womb, it's going to circulate through our entire ecosystem of the entire globe. It's horrifying. Again, Eric West's term, Hawaii Chernobyl or Maui Chernobyl, it's exactly right. It's unbelievable. So, you guys, I'm going to sign off. I love you. I thank you so much for being here with me today. I thank you so much for being here with me any day. And I'm going to continue to review some of my earlier videos about Idaho 4 and also Kylie Rodney, because that's not something that I've really done. You know, I've reviewed other people's videos from back then. I haven't really thought about doing it on my own until Ara was doing it on hers. And I was very inspired by that, Ara. I thought that was brilliant, you know, that you put in all that good work and, you know, people notice it when you do it and then they forget about it. And we forget about it too. We forget about our own work. So it's good to review it. It's good to revisit it. And it's good to stay focused. So justice for Kylie, justice in Moscow, justice for Maui. Anna Bean says, bye everyone, Merry Christmas. So I'm hoping that I will see you guys before Christmas. Christmas isn't until Monday. It's Thursday now. I can't imagine that I'd be able to not do a live between now and then. I mean, even if I can't imagine that I could. If that makes sense. So one of the things I like about doing my channel, and I did want to address, is the ambiguity, you know, the contradicting myself. That's fine. Like, life is full of contradictions and life is full of ambiguity. And I just thought it would be interesting to have a discussion about that, maybe in an upcoming video, that it's fine to say one thing and then say the opposite, that both can be true at the same time. And it's also just keeping an open mind that, we don't know. There is no absolute. And on that note, I quote Einstein for saying, like, the more that we learn, the more we know we'll never know. And then I was looking it up to make sure I was quoting the right genius. And I was. It's okay. Don't worry. It's annoying when I look stuff up and then I'm like, oh, dang it, I was wrong. It happens. But in that case, I was accurate. It was Einstein, but it was also Aristotle. And I looked it up because I think Neek's Peaks used Aristotle's very, very similar quote just in her video yesterday, I think. And so I was like, wait, what? Because I looked it up when I said it the other day to make sure that I was quoting Einstein. And it was like, yeah, I was. And then I looked up what she said, quoting Aristotle, and she was right too. So they both said basically the same thing. So it must be true, right? I mean, seriously, yeah, the more you learn, like, say, about physics, the more you will never know about physics. Like what I was saying about the simplest things, like when a tree grows, the trunk and the branches go up and the roots go down, and we might not ever know the reason why. That's just the way it goes. On that, so ambiguity is a part of life, but it's also a very uncomfortable place to exist. Like if you're in a relationship and you're not sure if you love this person or no like this person, living in that ambiguity is extremely difficult. But most of real life exists in ambiguity. So that's what I'm trying to say. On that, you guys take care. Have a really good rest of your day. Tomorrow's Friday and then the holiday weekend. I hope that you're not feeling overwhelmed with the holidays crushing upon us. Just remember that it's not about any of the materialism. It's really about peace and joy. I mean, honestly, I know it sounds a little corny, but that's okay. I'm corny. That's cool. I go with it. I don't fight it. So peace out and love and light. Make sure you eat your veggies or drink your veggies. Make sure you get your protein, get your exercise. Be really kind to yourself, kind to other people. Be forgiving of yourself and forgiving of other people. And, your presence is the best gift that you can give anybody. So just be. On that, light and love. And I don't like the way the cell phone cuts me off, like where I'm talking now, when I hit the button. So I'm going to wait for a minute before I hit it, because every time lately it's really annoying. So see you on the next one. Have a lovely rest of your day. Thanks again.